Good morning. It's Friday morning time for another episode of Fridays with Frank. I'm Scott Cullen, editor in chief of the Cannata Report. It is so good to be back again with you this morning. And this time I've got Frank back with us. Before I bring out Frank, don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and send Frank your questions. And now please welcome our founder, Frank Cannata. How you doing, Frank? What's on your mind? But actually, what I really want to know is what's on your mind is what you're thinking about this Xerox acquisition of Lexmark. I don't think I'm the only one wondering. I think a lot of our viewers are wondering what you think about it as well. But anyway, how you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. And it's fortuitous that, and we'll be talking about this at a subsequent Fridays with Frank about, I was at the POA meeting day before yesterday and met people from Lexmark there. Had a great conversation and it enlightened me seriously uh, about what this whole thing really means. Bottom line, it's a win-win, my opinion. And I base that on the fact that when Xerox really started going into trying to do business with dealers, obviously I was very excited about it because I thought it was a good thing, and it turned out to be a pretty damn good thing. Um, I started questioning the dealers about, how do you like working with Xerox? They say, oh, we love the upper end of that product line. Oh, that is great. The production print stuff is just very good, very supportive, all the pluses. But the bottom of the line sucked. You know how dealers are. It's up or down and nothing in the middle. And I said, really that bad? Yeah, well, obviously they then moderated their tone. Yeah, they say it's, you know, nothing special. Now, taking on Lexmark, which is a fairly well accepted line, and everybody's been selling it for a long time. What is Xerox going to bring to the table? That's the question. It's going to be as good or as bad as Xerox makes it. I can't say it any other way. The Xerox people who I spoke to at the POA meeting, they have legitimate concerns. What's it going to be like for them? Are they going to be able to play uh, the same level of role that they played at Lexmark? Because these were obviously senior people. And I said, well, they'd be foolish not to. That's just my opinion, and maybe that's not what Xerox may want to hear, but they've done a pretty good job in some very difficult circumstances with that Square Nine routine. Uh, whoa, they've gone through hell and back. And there they are. They're working, they're doing their job, and good for them that they were able to navigate that, as in my opinion, as well as they did. Of course, they lost some people, but that was to be expected in light of the circumstances. So I would say this to my friends at Xerox: take a look at not only the line, but take a look at the people that have been selling it. And I think they can provide you with some insights that you really may not have been aware of before. Their focus on their product line has never been on the bottom end. And that goes back to the 70s when the Xerox made a decision. When the Japanese started introducing plain paper copiers in the United States in 1971, 72, 73, come around 75 or 76, uh, Xerox really made it clear they're not going to bother with anything below 30 pages a minute. And that's what they did. And it worked fine for them. They knew exactly what they wanted to do and why. And they weren't going to compete with the Japanese product and the Japanese pricing. So that was a decision made a long time ago, but now that's been part of its culture. Fuji, of course, who is their supplier, just recently announced that they were going to give the Caton their shall I call it their primary line, their A3, A4. Um, so now it's out there. Fuji has the product, and the first person they put on is not Xerox, but Caton. So does that tell you something? Which is okay. I mean, in my opinion, what Fuji did was damn smart because generally that's the way the business is going. I think in a very short order, every manufacturer of A3 and A4 will be working very closely with national distributors. And how close that relationship depends on how good they are. It's that simple. And it's not about price because it's a competitive business. There are norms that are in place, uh, which allow for not only productivity, but profitability. So I've looked at this a couple of different ways. I think number one, if it strengthens the Xerox line, period. It gives them an opportunity now, because interestingly enough, quite a few dealers in the lower volume band, so to speak. I looked at the results from our last three surveys, and a lot of the people that have taken Xerox on are less than $10 million. No, very few who put Xerox in a primary position until this last year. Last year, we had 14 dealers in the survey out of 401 who put Xerox as their prime source. And if you looked at the revenues for those people, they were all basically under the $10 million. There's maybe three out of 14, there might have been three that are over 10 million. So there were dealers who said, this is good. And I looked at the comments, and the comments were very interesting. It's a great brand name. I thought that was damn smart for a dealer who's probably taking a private label Lexmark. Now he's got a distinct product with a very good brand name for his business. And it's interesting to me that a dealer in that area and with that kind of constraints recognizes I need something that my people can go out and say, hey, we represent Xerox and not some other company that's cross branding a product. So on balance, no matter how we look at it, I'd say it's a win-win for Xerox. That's my story.